Hi there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, and wellness advocate, and I'm back, people. I'm back from my summer vacation and back from the beach, and I'm ready to rock and roll, ready to start something new, and I have a few things on my mind that I wanted to share with you. Today's topic is, are you the exception or the rule? And oftentimes I've noticed, when you just watch people watching, very interesting people watching. Oh boy. And it's interesting even on social media and listening to people and hearing people. And I believe that most people think they are the exception, not the rule. And it's just kind of baffling that people think, it's never going to happen to me. It's never going to happen to me. Oh boy. Let's just say I've been around the block a few times. Sometimes I've discovered, and it's been a real hard rock moment. And it's not easy to find out, what? You are not an exception. Shit happens. Things happen. Things fall apart, people. And we find out that illness happens. Cancer happens. Autoimmune disorders happen. Anxiety happens. Prescribed harm happens. Sexual assault happens. Narcissistic abuse happens. Job loss, foreclosure, unemployment, cheating spouse, broken relationships. All kind of things can happen. And here's the reality. We don't want to live in a world of doom and gloom. We don't want to constantly feel like there's a cloud over our heads and live in fear. But I really believe sometimes we do need to be proactive, especially with our health. We need to really build awareness. If there's nothing I've gained in my 11 years with fibromyalgia and the crazy mishaps with medicine, such as Cymbalta, gabapentin, and benzodiazepines, it's that what you don't know, it can hurt you. Oftentimes people say, oh, what you don't know won't hurt you. Not true. What you don't know can harm you. And I found out after these 11 years that it's in my best interest to know about whatever I put into my body, whatever I consume, and, whether it's a vitamin, whether it's a supplement, whether it is a beverage, whether it's some kind of herbal holistic remedy, no matter what I use, it doesn't matter if it's something over the counter, if it's something prescribed. I've gained such incredible insight that it matters that I know beforehand what I'm consuming. Even simple things like the foods that we have prepared for us. We need to know, what does it contain? What are the ingredients? Hey, there are so many times people think they're choosing such a great clean health, and then they find out that these companies are not advertising correctly, that they're mislabeling prescriptions, mislabeling directions, mislabeling the foods and the beverages on the back of our containers and packages. And there's a lot of crap that is going on in our world. And if we just go through life thinking it's never going to happen to me and I'm the exception, I'm the rule, the whole thing, that we could end up finding out the hard way that bad things do happen. And again, we don't want to have this fear consuming us or paralyzing us, but instead we want to, number one, really build awareness around you. Everything going on in your life, everything that you're involved in, anything to do with your relationships, to do with your lifestyle, to do with the things that you are busy doing and reading and watching and everything going on. There's a lot of times that just building awareness and gaining more insight and knowledge and education and really having this amazing awakening to advocate for you and your loved ones, it could really increase our quality of life, and it could save us from potential harm. Another thing that I wanted to mention in this whole thing to do with people who may think that they're the exception, that they're not the rule, is that, now this is really important because this is something I've come across on my YouTube channel and on social media. And that is when there are certain people such as myself who discover bad things do happen, such as benzodiazepines are hurting people. It's a destructive medicine. Many people have lost their precious lives to that drug. And so the thing is, when we start speaking the truth, when we start sharing our story, and we start saying, hey, this is what happened to me, I think it's really crucial that instead of others ignoring us, victim blaming, victim shaming, saying it's not true, or they say, here's the big one, but that didn't happen to me. That word, that phrase, but that did not happen to me, technically is minimizing what happened to you. So say, for an example, your spouse beat you. He beat you up. He cheated on you. He took all your money and he left. Okay? And you are a victim of domestic violence. Okay? And you start sharing what happened, and people are minimizing it. They're victim blaming you. They're like, why did you stay so long? Why are you with him? Why did you choose this guy to begin with to marry him? What's wrong with you? Oh no, that didn't happen to me. That is just not the right approach. We don't need to tell someone who went through a horrific crime or something extremely negative and traumatic. We do not need to tell them that they're the blame, or that something's wrong with them, or that they made a poor choice. Instead of really focusing on that whole negative energy and bashing the victim, it's really crucial instead that we have a listening ear. We give empathy. We're compassionate. We have kindness. We are there to say, hey, I'm really sorry that happened to you. How can I help you? And instead, we really wrap our arms around that person, and we are gentle and we're soft and we're caring, and we give hope that they're going to be able to overcome this battle, this struggle, this trial, or whatever they're going through. And so many of us have gone through some heavy duty, crazy stuff. Some of us are victims of violent crimes, such as any kind of violent crime, robberies, rapes, home invasions, physical attacks, sexual violence, narcissistic abuse. I mean, the list is long, but many of us are survivors, and we are sharing our stories. We are bravely and boldly stepping out, and we're saying, this is what happened to me, and let's build awareness, and I'm supporting other survivors. And so I think that's the biggest message I have for my YouTube community, is to stop bashing the victims, stop saying, but it didn't happen to me, and instead say, I'm really sorry, and how can I help you, and how can I pray for you, and what can I do for you? Or just listen. Sometimes not saying anything could be better than saying something negative. Sometimes it's how we say it and how we respond and our motive behind it. Think before you speak. And so once again, the exception to the rule, none of us are exempt. So I'm going to end this on a note that we're not exempt. We're not exempt from trials. We're not exempt from hardships. We're not exempt from illness and foreclosure and poverty and homelessness. We're not exempt from different things happening to us, such as the psych harm and all of the crazy things happening in the psych units that are not advocating for the patients, and it's not helping the patients. It's hurting them, and it's making them stuck, and it's one drug after another drug and one withdrawal after another, and too many are losing their lives today from prescribed harm and toxic medicine. And too many people today are living in shame and blame, and we need to wrap our arms around them. I'm going to encourage you today to really think about how you respond to people, how you talk to people, how you treat people, because kindness matters. And today, let's love one another. Let's give peace. Let's give harmony. Let's have unity. Let's join in solidarity and make this world a better place. So share with me any thoughts you may have on this whole idea on the exception to the rule. If you've ever gone through anything, whether it is violent crimes, whether it is being a survivor of child abuse, sexual assaults, domestic violence, a cheating spouse, any kind of weird things with medications or your health, feel free to share. In the meanwhile, you could check out my website at danaarcuri.com. Like, subscribe. Have an awesome day, and I'm so glad to be back. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.